Please give this content a thumbs up by hitting the like button. And subscribe to the channel to get notification of further content regarding GCC past examinations questions and solutions. Questions and Solutions, the Act. June 2010 examination. Question 1. 1.1. Define the following terms as given in the Act. Occupational medicine means prevention, diagnosis, and treatment of illness, injury and adverse health effects associated with particular type of work. Occupational medicine practitioner means medical practitioner as defined in Medical Dental Supplementary Health Service Professionals Act who hold an occupational medicine qualification or an recognized equivalent qualification. Occupational health practitioner means an occupational medicine practitioner or a person who hold a qualification in occupational health recognized as such in MDSHSP Act. Occupational hygiene means to anticipate, recognize, evaluate and control conditions arising from workplace which might have adverse health effects. 1.2. The Minister may grant an exemption by issuing a certificate of exemption in which the name of the applicant, the scope, period, and conditions of the exemption are specified. 1.2.1. For what matters may the Minister issue an exemption? Solution from Section 40(1) of the Act. Any matter from all provisions of the Act or provision of a notice under the Act. 1.2.2. To whom may the Minister issue such certificate of exemption? Solution from Section 40(1) of the Act. Any employer or user. 1.2.3. When shall the exemption lapse? Solution from Section 40(5) of the Act. Upon termination of the period which it was granted, or withdrawal of the relevant certificate or notice. Question 2 Act. 2.1 S44 The Minister may incorporate into the regulations any health and safety standard or part thereof. 2.1.1 What steps must the Minister follow when incorporating a standard into the regulations? Solution from Section 44 of the Act. The Minister shall consult the Council. Thereafter issue Gazette of Incorporation of Health and Safety Standard. 2.1.2 What is the legal standing of a standard incorporated into the regulations? Solution from Section 44(3) of the Act. It shall be deemed to be regulation. 2.1.3 How does an amendment or substitution of an incorporated standard affect the incorporation thereof? Solution from Section 44(4). The original notice of incorporation shall be deemed to refer to the amended health and safety standard. 2.2 You employ more than 20 employees at a workplace and have to designate in writing for a specified period health and safety representatives. 2.2.1 What persons are eligible for designation as health and safety representatives? Solution from Section 17(4) of the Act. Persons employed on full-time basis. Persons acquainted with conditions and activities of particular workplace. 2.2.2 When must the health and safety representatives perform their activities in connection with such designation? Solution from Section 17(7) of the Act. During ordinary working hours. 2.3 You have to establish health and safety committees at your workplace. 2.3.1 When must such committee be established? Solution from Section 19(1) of the Act. When there is more than 2 health and safety reps. 2.3.2 Who may be members of the Health and Safety Committee, s. Solution from Section 19(2) of the Act. Health and safety reps shall be part of the committee. Persons nominated by the employer. November 2010 examination. Question 1. 1.1 Define the following terms as given in the Act. Employer means a person who employs or provides work to any person and remunerates or undertake to enumerate him/her but excludes labor broker as defined in the Labor Relation Act. Major hazard installation means an installation as follows. 1. Where more than the prescribed quantity of any substances or may be kept, whether permanently or temporarily, or 2. where any substance is produced, processed, used, handled, or stored in such a form and quantity that it has the potential to cause a major incident. Major incident means an occurrence of catastrophic proportions, resulting from the use of plant or machinery, or from activities at a workplace. 1.2. In terms of subsection 8, 1. An employer shall provide and maintain, as far as is reasonably practicable, a working environment that is safe and without risk to health of his/her employees. Further, subsection 8, 2, determines that, without derogating from the generality of the employer's duties under subsection 1, the matters to which those duties refer include in particular a number of functions. State 3 of these functions. Solution from section 8, 2, of the Act. Provide work systems/methods, plant, and equipment that is as far as reasonable practicable safe and without risk to health. Eliminate and mitigate as far as reasonable practicable potential hazards that pose a risk to health before resorting to PPE. Ensure safe and risk-free conditions in connection with production, manufacture, transportation, storage, handling for concerned articles. Question 2. 2.1. Apart from any specific duty imposed on an employer by the Occupational Health and Safety Act, the employer has a duty to cause every employee to be made conversant with the hazards to his/her health and safety attached to any work which he or she has to perform, as well as any precautionary measures he or she should take. The employer also has a duty to inform health and safety representatives on specific aspects. State 2 such aspects. Solution from Section 13 of the Act. This includes inspections, investigations, formal inquiries, and any application for exemptions made by employer. The occurrence of incident in the workplace. 2.2. Your company is manufacturing machinery for which a safety standard has been prescribed. What requirements must you meet before you may advertise or sell such machinery? Solution from Section 22 of the Act. The machinery shall be in full compliance with prescribed safety standard. 2.3. In terms of the Act, the Chief Executive Officer, CEO, is charged with certain duties and he/she may assign any of these duties to other persons. 2.3.1. What are the duties imposed by the Act on the CEO? Solution from Section 16 of the Act. Ensure duties of his employer as contemplated in the Act are properly discharged. 2.3.2. To whom may the CEO assign such duties? Solution from Section 16 of the Act. May assign the above duties to any person under his control. 2.3.3. What are the conditions when the CEO assigns these duties to other persons? Solution from Section 16 of the Act. The person shall be acting under the control and directions of the CEO. 2.4. During an inspection of your premises, an inspector of the Department of Labor indicated that he/she is of the opinion that work being performed by certain employees is likely to threaten their safety. The inspector served a prohibition notice on you prohibiting you to continue with that work. 2.4.1. What steps may the inspector take to enforce such prohibition? Solution from Section 30, 2, of the Act. The inspector may block, bar, barricade or fence off that part of the workplace, plant, or machinery. 2.6.2. What must you do with regard to the contents of the notice? Solution from Section 30, 6, of the Act. Bring the contents of the prohibition notice to the attention of the health and safety rep and employees concerned. The end of questions and recommended solutions for legal knowledge exams year 2010. Thank you.